We'll talk about variables in this class. What are variables again? Variables are containers for storing data value. It means any value, any data you want to use and reuse in your system, you have to store in a container for it to hold that value for you so that at a later point in your code or in future, you can reuse the data. Variables are defined as containers for storing data values. And in variables, we have a left hand side and the right hand side. What normally happens is left hand side is assigned a value, assigned a value, is assigned value on the right hand side. At hand side. What that means invariably is if I take x as a variable, for example, I will say equals 5. Yeah. Let's comment this one out and comment that one out. So at a later point in my code, if I want to say, if I want to ask the computer to print value 5 for me, I don't have to enter 5. I will say print x. If I hit run, the computer will produce 5 for me. What that means is if I come down here and I want to add, say, maybe 10 to x, all I have to do is to do x equals x plus 5. I said plus 10, rather. X equals x plus 10. At this point, x has been assigned 5. Here, x is still 5. So what we are doing here means x now add 5, because at this point x is 5. X is now saying add 5 plus 10, and the answer we get after x equals x plus 10 should be 15 in mathematics, and we try it out. If I click enter, you see the value has changed to 15. So formally, initially x was 5, we printed x, and now we have added x equals x plus 10, and we printed x, which is 15. So to make this code more readable, remember we spoke about comments in one of our classes. So we'll say x is initially x is initialized to 5, right? I don't initialize well, and here 10 is added to x. So that is the beauty. That is the beauty of variable. So here we have initialized x to 5, and we are saying when we got here, we are adding 10 to x, and x is giving us um, the value 15. So I have mentioned initialization, and I will define what initialization means. Initialization means so initialized with a Z, initialized to 5. So it's with a Z. So there are some common terminology that we use in programming, especially when it comes to variable. You will see people throwing words like initialize and define and define and define. You will see them throwing it around. If I give you an example, if I say y, if I say y and I try to run, you can see IDE came back with a name error saying y is not defined because it doesn't know what y is. Y is not defined. But if you want to use y as a variable, we have to assign a value to it. So if we have y by its own, we will say we define a variable. But if we have a value assigned to y, we will say y is initialized with that particular number. So in this particular case, we will say y is assigned 0. So remember, when you have single equal sign in Python, it means you are assigning the value on the right hand side to the value on the left hand side. And this is where it's really helpful. So let's come back here and we'll say um, the program prints the sum of two numbers. And if we choose number the first, so we'll say assign number 20 to the first variable, assign number 546 to the second variable, then hold the summation of first and second number in another variable. So what I've done here is I've given you the body of work to do. With let me put this on the second line so that you can see it properly. So that's if I've given you some specs to follow. So um, these are called task in the programming world. So what this pseudocode is asking you to do is to create a variable, add number 20 to it, create second variable, add number 546 to it, and hold the sum of first and second number in another variable. So what we do is I would say, let's take the first variable to be x. We say x equals 20. So we are assigning 20 to x. And we say y equals 546. Yeah. And we come here, we say sum of x and y equals x plus y, right? Then we'll come, if you want to print the sum now, so we will not have to print 20 plus 546. We don't have to print x plus y. We can just print out uh, the sum of x plus y equals, put a comma, and you put that. So if we do a run, it will give us the sum of x plus y is 546. So what the computer does here is when you start running the program, it comes here, he assigned 20 to x, assigned 546 to y, and assigned the sum of x plus y to this variable. And when we print, we are printing this variable, and it gives us the value which is 566.